Joining us to discuss this, cultural commentator Zizi Mills, who says she would never date a short man, and model and former star of Made in Chelsea, Ashley James, who says dating a man with personality is more important than height. We're also joined in the studio by Lucy Davis and Dave Campbell, who are proof that height doesn't matter. Dave is 5'4", Lucy is 5'9". They're getting married in April. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
So look, when you first met Dave, Lucy, were you put off by the fact of his height? What was it that first attracted you to him?
Big confidence.
Confidence?
Yeah.
Do you think that's key, Dave? It's not worrying about your physical side of things, just having a strong personality?
Yeah, definitely.
Has it ever been an issue, the height between the two of you?
Not between ourselves, but...
Only when I wear flats.
Do you tend to do that more often?
Not really.
You don't mind?
Probably wear heels more now.
You embrace that, and you quite like it, do you?
I prefer it.
I
prefer the heels.
It's like I'm a supermodel.
Oh. He makes you feel like a supermodel, which is no bad thing, is it, when it comes to a relationship? What about other people's reaction, though? What's the reaction, say, from people, either your mates or people that you see?
You do get some people have some funny things to say, or...
Bit of banter.
You're obviously a great couple, so much in love. But Zizi here, you would look at that and think, that's not for me.
I mean, it works for Ashley. It just doesn't. It wouldn't work for me. That's Ashley's short king, not mine. There's just something about the height difference of a taller man, how it makes you feel protected, how it makes you feel. It just makes me feel. I think the average height of women in the UK is actually 5'3". So I mean, 5'3". Yeah, it's not. It's quite short. Yeah. So a man, there's a lot. I mean, if you're.
Do you know what's the average height for a man?
5'9".
5'9".
So it's like it's.
So in a way, it's the norm in terms of the average.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, you are tall, aren't you? How tall are you?
Well, I'm 5'7", so...
OK, that's relatively tall.
No supermodel, but
And have you... I'm very small, I'm only about 5'2", so it's never really cropped up for me. I'm always just grateful for any kind of attention at all from whatever height. But for you, presumably, you've gone on a date, maybe someone you've seen, you know, on a dating site, so you have an idea of height, and you're presented with someone. Does it not even for a second flicker through your mind that that might be weird or different?
Not at all. And do you know what? I was single for 6 years, and in that time, it's so hard anyway to find someone that you're compatible with in terms of, like, meeting someone that you're, like, socially, economically, intellectually, sexually attracted to, that I think the more kind of pointless flags that you put up, the less like you are to meet someone compatible and who can make you really happy.
The point that Lucy made over there, though, Azizi, with Dave, one of the things that she was first attracted to Dave was his personality and his confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, undoubtedly, confidence is an incredibly attractive characteristic. Have you never met a guy that's come and met you that has bowled you over with his confidence that perhaps wasn't as tall as your standard guy that you're looking for?
I mean, it has happened, but it's always just better on a 6'1" guy. I mean, you can have all these really good attributes, like really nice, caring, but imagine that on a 6'1".
So I'm not tall enough for you?
I mean, how tall are you?
5'10" and a half.
I mean...
I'm above average, I've just heard. This is great news. I've never been above average at anything.
I mean, with heels on, I want to be able to look up. I want to fit. It is a little bit fairy tale, but I compromise on so many things. That's hard.
I feel like you're trying to land a no very, very gently there.
No, sorry.
Well, look, you had a win about being above average. You can't have it all.
Fortunately, Ashley's into personality, so...
Yeah, no, I also read that if you're dating a guy who's shorter than you, he's less bothered about gender stereotypes, so he's likely to be more supportive in other areas of your life. So if you get a promotion or, you know, all the things that defy gender stereotypes.
That's probably because he's really happy about dating a taller woman.
Tall doesn't equal beauty or, like, kindness or niceness.
No,
I think we should be looking at other values.
And when you hit the nail on the head, both of you, about confidence, I wonder if we're maybe contributing to smaller men not feeling confidence by making it a standard.
Yeah, but that's life. Men have preferences as well. Like, within my culture, men prefer women that are a lot thicker. I'm not a thick woman. I don't have, like, a nice, big, round bottom. Like, do you know what I mean? So I have to deal with that. That's just life. Some people are not going to like you for how you are, and you just have to move on with it. We can't always just be like, oh, we have to make sure. It's life. You're short, you're short. You're tall, you're tall. Some people are going to like you, some people are not.
What's up, everybody? This is Elan Jones, and today I'm going to be addressing what you saw in those clips. I'm going to be talking about heightism. I feel that this is a very overlooked ism. I've seen on the internet people talking about it. You'll see a comment here and there about people, especially on colorism videos or videos about colorism topics. you'll see people chime in saying, what about the discrimination against short guys? You know, and no one ever has anything to say because they know that this type of discrimination is very, very real. And no one wants to correct it. No one wants to address it. So I'm going to have a few comments up on the screen, which are really disheartening. And it's really messed up. It's all throughout movies, TV, social media, this type of discrimination. And when it comes to heightism, it's the same with colorism too, I can say. It's funny, it's a joke. It's something that we all laugh at, but no one stops to think about the people being discriminated against, the people involved. Before I put these comments up, I do want to address the clip in the very beginning. I want people to take note of who dismisses heightism versus who takes it seriously. So the model takes it seriously. The model. And I've seen this in real life. There are some women like that, really beautiful women, who are very kind and accepting. These are things that I've been saying for a while because beautiful women are discriminated against also, and absolutely no one cares about that. Everyone thinks that all beautiful women are privileged because most people don't have the privilege of knowing a beautiful woman in person. So they don't really know what's going on with them. But that's another video. So you see who quickly dismissed heightism. You see who has a preference for taller men. And she wasn't afraid of being insensitive towards shorter men while she stated her preference. And she tried to level it. She tried to be balanced. She mentioned that there are Black men who may not be interested in her because she doesn't have a big butt. She didn't mention the skin color. She didn't mention colorism. I don't know why, because it's going on over there in the UK just like it is in the US. But she said because of her physique, a lot of Black men aren't interested in her and she doesn't have a problem with it. I find that a lot of women who have a problem with colorism, right, who are greatly affected by colorism, have no empathy towards other people who experience negativity because of who they are, because of something that they can't change. There are so many people in that group. Their voices are the loudest. There is so much work done on trying to dismantle that type of discrimination. And there are so many people in society backing that movement, yet you can't be decent. People are afraid to say things like this out loud, but they're wondering, where is your decency? Why are you so mean? Why are you so mean to everyone? I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying that. You would think that being discriminated against would humble you, would make you more inclined to help other people, be understanding of other people, but instead, you know, we get the meanness. Enough to generalize. I know that the internet has a problem with generalizations. They love to say not all the time. But in this case, it's enough for me to generalize. So I've gone off on a tangent. Back to heightism. These comments on the screen are just not okay. People are going to accuse me of pandering or something like that, but I'm a part of several different minority groups, many different minority groups because of who I am, different parts of who I am, and it just makes me sympathetic to almost everybody else's plight. That's what that resulted in for me. But anyway, ageism is another ism that no one cares about. That's a really big deal for the older population. And it's something that I've always cared a lot about. Our elders deserve to be respected. So aside from middle-aged people who are discriminated against as far as employment, that's a very real thing. It's a very, very real thing. If you're looking for a job and you're in your 40s somewhere, 40s and up, it's kind of difficult to get a new job. You're competing against way younger people, and you have to deal with ageism. It's a very real thing. It depends on the company, but it's most companies. There are all sorts of other things that happen to the older population because of ageism. But when it comes to the elderly, it's sad because their image has been destroyed in the media also. So just like these other isms that I've addressed today, the older population also has to deal with a negative image in the media. Whenever we see older people on TV, it's this doddering old person who's like shaky and they can't remember anything and they don't have all of their marbles and they don't know what's going on. They're confused. They're like a baby. They can't do anything for themselves. That hurts their image. And I would imagine that that puts them in danger in real life. And the older population is also invisible. Everything is about young people. So we're young, most of us over here, we're young. We're on the younger side, so we're not thinking about it. And I had to think about this a few years ago. I had to really take a step back and think about this. All we see are young people in the media. We don't really see, I mean, things are starting to change a little bit where older people are starting to look good. They're starting, they're dressing them better. They're giving them stylish haircuts and whatnot. But for the most part, older people are just not in the media and they're not considered valid in society. When you're younger, you're not really thinking about that. And I want to say, the next time you deal with an older person, like an elderly person, try not to talk to them like they're babies. Try not to infantilize them. And if you're dealing with someone that's middle-aged, don't talk to them like they don't know what's going on in society, like they're out of touch. Don't be offensive towards these people. That's going to be you in the future. Treat them with respect. So with all of that said, I do want to apologize to shorter men, actually, because this video should have been strictly about you, but there's a point that I'm trying to get across. I'd like people to acknowledge that everything is not all about you, and try to have empathy for other groups that are going through similar situations. That's all. I'm seeing a serious lack of empathy when it comes to colorism especially, and that population is not the only one that has to deal with discrimination and unfair treatment. And when you mention something like this, you're accused of all lives mattering their situation. And no, we're just asking for a little bit of understanding. I'll catch you in my next video.